Hi! Today I have gathered a collection of books that are great for the 18-month-old age range, and they're specifically awesome for your tactile learner, your child that really craves the sensory experience as part of their reading. So I'm going to start out with the least amount of text and go from there. I have gathered a ton of books for you to check out, so I'm going to try and move quickly. First, I wanted to show the Slide and See books. We have 3 of them. There's also Slide and See Zoo and Slide and See Dinosaurs. These books are really unique. There is a little panel that you can move with just your finger on every page, and this is perfect for chubby little toddler fingers. So the panel that you can move always makes something happen in the story. There's not a lot of text in here, but for a lot of kids that is okay. They just want to keep it moving. They also have these finger trails. This is what Usborne calls finger trails. So those are fun to run your finger along, just adding to that tactile experience. This page is cute. So who's hiding? And then the spider drops down. So these are the Slide and See books. They're awesome because they allow you that interactive experience without the flaps, which some kids are just not ready for the flaps yet. That being said, I want to show some of our playbooks. There's a ton of these in the series. I have a couple. This one also does not have any flaps, but it does have the finger trails again. It has the owl's eyes. It has cutouts and everything in here. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's raised, so there's tons to feel. This one is just teaching names of the animals, so not a lot of text, but I like that it can kind of become a matching game as they get older. So hedgehog, hedgehog, or, you know, search and find style. Fox, fox. Where's the snail, or where's the bee? Super cute. Again, I love all the details that go into these books. So that's one of the playbooks. So that one is Baby's very first playbook, Animal Words. And here's one that is going to have more textures and flaps in it. So they do have a variety of these as well. So you've got flaps, you've got more finger trails, and then, you know, a soft fluffy cloud. This book is all about the tactile experience. Some people to find under the windows, different animals. My daughter loves this page at the end. She always makes me sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on this page. Super cute. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of these. There's one called the Finger Trails book. There's one about cats and dogs, but they're all going to have, they'll say specifically, but most of them have the flaps and then textures and cutouts. Moving on from there, we have Animal Hide and Seek. This is an Usborne Farmyard Tales book, and in the catalog it is described as a luxury touch and feel book, and you will see why. I mean, every single page just has tons of textures, tons of different things to interact with. So on this page, the flaps start, and there's a counting element here too. So we go from 1 cow to 2 cows. On the next page, we go from 2 pigs to 3 pigs and on up on every page. But I mean, just so much to experience in these books. There's also a little yellow duck. The illustrator of this book is Stephen Cartwright, and he hides a little yellow duck on every single page of every single book that he illustrates. So this one is no exception. So we've got scratchy flowers, and our 3 sheep are going to 4. And it just kind of goes on like that. You know, there's a little bit of texture, just kind of trying to find the animal that's hiding. Anyway, this one is a huge hit with my daughter. Next we'll do the That's Not My series. So these you may have seen somewhere else. They're huge bestsellers. These are the ones you're most likely to find in a store. Every page has something to feel on it. It has a little mouse on every page, and the little mouse says, "That's not my hedgehog." In this case, its nose is too shiny. So it's got a lot of repetition, which the toddlers really seem to enjoy. And it has this bold black outline, which really makes things stand out for the younger kids. So this one's tummy is too fuzzy. And by the end of the book, he finds his hedgehog. There are 40 different ones in this series. There's That's Not My Meerkat, That's Not My Princess. There's a couple of Christmas titles. These would make really cute stocking stuffers. But I mean, everybody raves about these. Again, these are a bestseller. Moving on from there, I don't know how you feel about flaps, but for this age range, I recommend the Peek Inside books. So we have a bunch of them. There's also Peek Inside Dinosaurs. Most of them are nonfiction. There is Peek Inside a Fairy Tale Little Red Riding Hood, and they also just came out with Peek Inside a Fairy Tale Cinderella. So they're just beautiful. So you can see like all the cutouts. But let's talk about the nonfiction ones. So I'll show you, we also have, I think my daughter absconded with a couple of them because she was enjoying them so much when I was getting ready for this video. But I'll show you Peek Inside Space. So these are flat books, again nonfiction, but they're still going to have the cutouts. Sorry, my 4-year-old is in here. And it's kind of an introduction to nonfiction. I am a huge fan of these Peek Inside books. I just think that they are so well done, so fun, and so beautiful. I think this page is super cute because you get to dress the astronaut. I think that's so clever and fun. And, you know, more cutouts. Just gotta catch the screw. So, this is the Peek Inside series. They actually have shown that when you lift the flap, it does engage the brain in a way that helps you retain the information that you learn while you're doing it better. Oh, we got a bit left. Cool. And then along the same lines, the lift the flap books, they have opposites, numbers, shapes, sight words, a lot of cool ones. Some of them get a little more difficult at the end, so you know there's actually some counting involved or some math, but this one, opposites, is great for any age. Basically when you lift the flap you're going to see the opposite. So this says over, and then when you lift the flap you've got under, and it goes on like that. You've got hot, cold. So this is another great one to engage them with flaps. That was full and that's empty. And this one says above or below. Lift the flaps to find the things above or below the waves. So that kind of adds another fun element to it. Inside or outside. So these are more, you know, this elephant is dirty, clean. So that's a really cute one. And that's lift the flap opposites. Moving on to some that have a little more text. I wanted to show you these. These two here might be my top pick for your kiddos that, you know, like a more sensory experience when they are being read to, and that like maybe a little more text. So, sorry, 4-year-old. So this is a squirrel's tale, and there's a mouse about the house. So each of these come with a little character in this front pocket here. And I think it's really thoughtful. They actually put instructions for what to do if you lose your character to make a new one. And there is a little slot on every single page, and the character moves through the story. So this is a little easier to do in your lap. But it says, a hungry mouse came out one night to look for food. I'll try the kitchen first, thought the mouse, and disappeared through a crack in the floor. So this is reversed because I've got it in the selfie mode, but these lines are moving left to right, which is a great way to introduce your toddler to that concept of reading left to right. And on every single page, there is a little slot that the character goes through, and you continue the story reading along. I think this is a cute page. He goes into the box of cornflakes. And some of these even have, some of the pages even have flaps on them. Yeah. So cute. I want to show you on the squirrel's tail real fast because there's an adorable page in there. Let's see. Here it is. So he's looking for his nuts. He's lost his nuts. And so he was asking the bats about where his nuts were. Again, a lot easier when this is on your lap. Let's just do that. So he goes through the little flap and he comes out and he got stuck in a spider web. I mean, so cute, so clever. And of course, kids just love this. But again, this one has a little story, so that's fun too. Let me just keep him in his little pouch in the front there. Next, I wanted to talk about the Muddle and Match books. This is a book that I actually had in my library before I even discovered Usborne books. These are so fun. There are 6 in the series. So there's monsters, there's jobs, there's sports. I have kind of the boy and the girl versions here of, they call it adventure. And so the way these work, they have a ton of different panels in them. And you can keep the panels all together to make a consistent character, and then there's a lot of alliteration in the story. So Pete the plucky pirate pleads with Percy, his peculiar parrot, to prepare to paddle the Pacific. Tons of great vocab words in here. But what kids really enjoy is to mix the panels up and create a really silly story. And obviously this is going to be different every time you do it. So now we have Edward, the excitable explorer, calmly canters on his constant companion to study the strange spotty space slurper. Kids love making silly stories with these.
That was not me.
Sorry about that. No, it wasn't. And these are an amazing price point. I mean, there's a ton in there, and these are only $8.99. So the Muddle and Match ones are another one that's really cool if your child wants to interact with the story while you're reading it. And I've got one more. I know this has been a super long video, but I'm really excited about all of Usborne's tactile books. So this is the Busy Bug book. It's a pullback book. We also have similar books. Got a couple back here. The Train and the Pirate Ship, and those ones are wind-up books. So they come with a little figure that your child winds up, but this one is aimed at toddlers. So the kids are able to just pull back the figure instead of having to wind it up. So in this instance, we have a bug, but they all come with something. And there is a little bit of text, but it's just a little bit in these versus the wind-up ones because these are aimed at toddlers. So this one says, the busy bug has been to see her friends, but it's time for her to go home now. Follow her as she travels around the garden. So there's a little story in between this track. My 16-month-old has almost mastered this. She probably gets it about 75% of the time. So they can rev the bug up just by pulling it backwards. This is also best done on a flat surface rather than trying to show in a video. But you let the bug loose on the track, and as you read the story, the bug goes along and visits her friends trying to make her way home. So that is Busy Bug, one of our pullback books.
Oh no, Bug, you got hurt.
And, you know, just again, like raised figures on the page. I mean, these books are totally gonna stimulate your tactile learner for sure. So, sorry, that was super long, but I hope some of those piqued your interest, and I look forward to partying with you tomorrow night.